Hello, hello, welcome back to Oolykee Gaming and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic Mod Monday. Today we have MiG-29, huge shopping center and huge cement plant. If you like a mod, give it a thumbs up. It helps our modders get a nice feedback for the hard work that they're doing, and they're doing it for free. The second thing is, in last week we had over 60 mods released, and this is only some of them that caught my eye. I couldn't squeeze all of them that I wanted in this episode, but here we go, my favorite 8. Karantukian boiler room or tiny heating plant. Did you ever build a small settlement or an outpost in the middle of nowhere and thought even a small heating plant is too big for this? Good news, this tiny boiler room can provide some heat to the surrounding buildings, and it also a fast and good solution to heating problems in the large cities. Yeah, okay, let's talk about this. First of all, great thing. There's two ways you can bypass heating your outposts, is make an outpost like a fire station without a boiler room. There's a couple of mods there that you can use. This is a little bit on the cheaty side and I use it constantly, so I totally understand that maybe if you want to be a little bit more realistic, something like this is definitely a much better choice. Also, some of the distant buildings like a fire station, they should have their own heating internally, but that's due to the 3 division and how they designed this game. So unfortunately we have to provide heating somehow, and this is a really great choice. Now this uses 1 ton of coal and it produces 16 gigajoules of heat, or you can see here it's 80 cubic meters of heat. Now there was mods released, I believe, by Toprus and somebody historically with a similar set of these heating plants, because they were used in the city centers in the middle of cities and residential districts to heat the local area, these central boiler rooms. So you can find them all over the place, and you can, like Karantuki said in the description of the mod, you can use them in your urban areas as well. They're really good backup for your main heating if you want to go like that. Now 1 ton of coal to generate 16 gigajoules of heat. Let's compare this to vanilla. In vanilla we have 2 tons of coal to get 42 gigajoules of heat, so obviously consumption wise is also realistic, I believe. It's a little bit less efficient than vanilla one. What about the bigger one? 8 times more. Yeah, it would be in a similar ballpark. Yeah, definitely not a cheaty mod because it produces less heat for the same amount of coal. What about the price? The price is 5,000 rubles compared to vanilla one, which is 24,000. I think it's quite realistic. It's a small building just with a heating room, so I don't think this is a cheaty mod at all. And it's a really noble thing if you want to go and put this in a faraway place to heat something that shouldn't be heated. So thumbs up in my book. Truck aggregate loading by Mr. Robs074. Truck aggregate loading station for 2 vehicles loosely based on a real building, Ruda, Śląska, Poland. Yes, finally, we have a really nice truck loading station. We had a couple of vanilla truck loading station and based on that, but this is based on a realistic building, and of course, compared to vanilla ones, has much better textures. It's a really beautiful building. 2 of them actually. One of them is with 1 entrance where the trucks go around and go out, or we have a pass-through one if you want to go even faster, if you want to exchange those vehicles much faster. So both of them are quite nice. Now if we go for the loading stations, which is going to be over here, and then we go aggregate unloading, you can see that it costs 7,000 rubles, 4,000 for vanilla one. Quite realistic, not a cheaty mod at all. Link in the description of the video. Alpha, no, first, let's do this. Now it's time for butcher the Polish language. I'm not Polish, I'm gonna do my best here, but Alpha, Święty, Marcin, Poznań. By Matswodki and Anamatis. There's a description in Polish. The mods contacted me regarding this mod, and it was really nice of him, and asked me about the input, about the price of the building. Heads up, it's really expensive. It's not something that you're going to be building in every city. It's Details are magnificent, looks beautiful, and also construction itself takes a long time, but it's kind of epic. Every tower is constructed separately, and you can see it going up, and then after 3 towers you have half of the building being constructed and finished, and then the second half of the building. Unfortunately, you cannot use half of the building, only half of the building. The whole needs to be constructed. In real life this took 7 years to construct, which was like, wow, that's a long time to construct, but it's really beautiful building, really nice. I think it's a socialist modernism style. Anyway, like I said, there's nothing much we can say about this building. It's realistic in price, it's huge, and now benefit of it is short, it's narrow and long. That means that your residential areas, that your city center, or where you're gonna place it, will be covered by shops from a long distance away. So if you build one of these, you can service enormous amount of people in the vicinity. So just a heads up, it has huge benefits as well for building something this expensive. Now if we go for the price tag of this one, it's the last one over here, sorry. For some reason doesn't show in the shop, but here we go, ALFA, 615,000 rubles. Now bear in mind that the mod maker here, they can maybe decide to change the amount of materials in the future. We already did that, or he asked me for an input on this, and we already lowered the price a little bit, but here it's this is the price. It requires 187 tons of steel, and this is lower compared to the original amount of steel and all the materials required, just because game makes it a little bit easier. Still requires 37,600 work days to complete, so it's gonna take a long time to complete this, but definitely worth it. Like I said, it's quite realistic because it costs 617,000 to build it over here, and compared to big vanilla one, it's 106,000. I'm just gonna real quickly go and compare this vanilla over here. You can see how much bigger, longer this building is. I calculated about 3 times bigger than vanilla one, but it's definitely way more expensive. This is 100,000 and that's 600,000. Quite realistic, beautiful building, link in the description of the video. Cement plant by Robs074. Cement plant loosely based on a real building in. I was trying to guess what the sigil is, but no, it's Krakow, and I did not guess it. Employs 40 workers, requires 210 tons of gravel and 30 tons of coal, and produces 108 tons of cement per day when fully staffed. Now this is absolutely ginormous. It's a big plant, it requires a lot of workers. We're gonna compare it straight away with the vanilla ones. So if we go for the cement plant, requires 200,000 rubles to build, and this one is 290,000 rubles to build. Produces about 20% more than vanilla, but it costs way more. It costs like 50% more than vanilla, so it's quite realistic, usual for Mr. Robs. Now cement, 200 tons the capacity. It does have a little bit bigger capacity than vanilla, 3 times bigger, which is great. I think they should have a little bit better capacity, and everything else, I think it's perfectly fine, perfectly balanced mod, usual Robs. Link in description of the video. Isuku and MiG-29, there's a description in Russian, and I will not read this because, again, I'm not fluent in Russian. I understand bits and pieces, but there's a description of the history when it was built, 1977, 6th of October, really? Okay. Julian or Gregorian calendar. The speed is the 1,500 kilometers per chasov. And then we have the 10 tons. Right, 3 Division fought really hard for this game not to be about weapon exports, but the community strikes back. Community says no, we're gonna export weapons, so now you have an option to do so. Okay, let's compare it to other planes. Now it comes in only one color, only the camouflage color, so you can start exporting it for fighting purposes as soon as possible. It does have even missiles mounted on straight away. Let's see the price and the year of construction, 1982 until present, and the cost 48,000 rubles. It's a little bit cheaper. It's cheaper than their equivalents. Yeah, it's a fighter jet, it's not a big transport plane, so definitely I think it's in a realistic price. So you're not going to be using something like this, you're going to be exporting this probably. It does have small capacity, but hey ho, you need to put something on there. Anyway, link in the description of the video. Okay, another butchering time. It's Stadthäuser. if I can try my German a little bit. It's by Quickel Bendig. Sorry about that. It's absolutely my favorite mod, this mod Monday. It's enormous details that you have in this. It went into this. Now, if you want to build, is it Baroque? I think it's Baroque buildings, but it's kind of reminiscent of the Central European style of construction. I think it would be even German or Austrian. I'm not really sure. Oh, why don't I read the description then? This is a set of tenement houses from the late 19th, early 20th century, ideal for creation of Central European themed maps. It contains 10 individual residential buildings without the collision, and ground level needs to be maximized to flexibility upon placement. Yes, so like I usually do, I did place them randomly. And you can see some of the buildings. Let's see, I did flatten this pretty perfectly, but on some of them you can see that they're not ideally placed. The entrances of the houses are a little bit lower or higher. But in this case you have this foundation you can see here below the building. So it goes a little bit under the actual level of the building, so you don't get floaty building, but it is elevated like this a little bit. Still unrealistic, and you should still level this as much as possible, but this way is way better to hide that it's actually elevating above ground. So it's really beautiful. Now, if you want to build yourself something like a Central European city center or old town, this is definitely way to go, and really beautiful details. So we can cover some of the features of this, but I don't think it's necessary. We have 55,027. That there's no question about this. Doesn't matter even how many people live here, because this is almost three times the price of vanilla buildings of the same capacity. So, and quality of apartments is 92%, again desirable. It's absolutely not a cheaty mod, and if you want to construct something like this, go ahead. Big thumbs up in my book. Favorite mod is Mod Monday. Statistics say that most of us are mostly poor rather than rich, so something a little bit more realistic for our own enjoyment is Armenian private houses for 4 workers by Abelian Hike 852. Pack of Armenian private houses. This set includes private houses which I saw in different populated places of Armenia. All of them house 4 workers, self-heated and without collision. I'm just wondering, do they generate pollution? They kinda should, because pollution, let's see here, I think they should have description. Water consumption, cost per flat. What's a cost per flat? Really? Is that a new thing? I didn't even notice this. Power consumption, no, it doesn't seem like it's creating pollution, because some of the buildings that they have self-heating, they would be... No, it doesn't say here, but 87% quality of living. These houses are designed by the people who are actually living in there, so living conditions or quality of flats should be maybe even higher, because usually people adjust it to their own means or quality of apartments that they want to live in. Now, price-wise, they're all for 4 people. There's nothing to compare it with. The smallest buildings we have of vanilla is 4,000 for 12 people, so they are a little bit cheaper, but they take much more space compared to this 12 people house. So definitely not a cheaty mod. Really beautiful models, as Abelian Hike makes a lot of really nice mods. So big thumbs up in my book. For more details, you have a link in the description of the video. Here's something different, Eborian and Wilderness Xtreme. Wilderness is to the extreme. Test your creativity building on untouched wilderness mountains and islands. The difficulty is not because of the lack of resources, but because of the challenging terrain, and will force you to terraform every piece of land you use. Actually, yes, I already tried this with the Mod Monday, and it's quite challenging. And if you want to go for, let's say, a realistic start or something where you can't spend too much money on terraforming from the outside, it's going to be really challenging. I don't know what this reminds me of. Svalbard, maybe something like that. Let's go and check out the map real quickly. So if we go for G and return the GUI, you can see here we have a couple of Soviet border crossings over here. Let's see how flat it is over here. F2. You can see here nothing is perfectly flat, barely anything where you can build anything, so it's going to be a lot of terraforming or building on a hilly landscape. Maybe some buildings without collisions would be in order. Do we have a train connection here? Yeah, we do. And then we have another border crossing here, again with very little space for building, so it's quite challenging. What about the resources, I hear you say? They're decent all over the place, so you won't have any problems exporting those bad boys, but getting to them and setting up the infrastructure is going to be challenging. Uranium is all the way to the west side, so nuclear power is going to be pushed back a bit, and bauxite is all the way south, again not really close to the border crossing, so we can't really tap into those. Oil is also fairly far away, but coal is close and right next to some border crossings. So it is a really beautiful map. As I mentioned, it is wilderness, it's challenging terrain that is gonna definitely get your head scratched a bit. But anyway, if you enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up. If you liked the video, press the like button. If you didn't, leave a nasty comment in the comment section, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, notification bell, ring it, comment section, hit it, and if you want to support the channel, you have a link in the description of the video. Happy Monday, guys, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.